how did this very film-based, very analog art form finally make the jump, into the digital age?
Ah,
Because it felt like two completely separate worlds for so long.
yeah.
Almost impossible to connect.
It was a massive hurdle, technologically speaking. I mean, large format photography relied so much on the physical nature of those big film sheets.
Right.
So the challenge wasn't just, oh, let's make a digital sensor. It was, how do you replicate that huge capture area digitally and still get that nuanced image quality everyone expected?
Okay, so it was a really tough problem. When did someone actually crack it? When
Yeah.
did we see that first, true digital bridge get built? I heard something happened around 2018. A company called Large Sense.
That's the one. Yeah, 2018 was the year. Large Sense LLC, they came out with something that really, well, it shook things up. It was called the LS911.
LS911.
And this wasn't just another digital camera. They called it the world's first digital ultra-large format camera. And the reason, it had this absolutely enormous sensor, 9 by 11 inches.
9 by 11 inches.
Inches, yeah. Just think about that scale for a second. Imagine a digital sensor roughly the size of a standard piece of, U.S. letter paper.
Wow. Okay, that's huge. I can just
Yeah.
picture the traditionalists back then, clutching their film holders going, digital? No way.
Ah, probably.
So before this LS911 thing, what were photographers even doing if they wanted something like digital large format? Were they just out of luck?
Not completely stuck, but the solutions weren't ideal. It was mostly workarounds.
Okay.
What people often did was they'd take a medium format digital back, those high-res digital sensor units you can attach to cameras.
Right, like for Hasselblads or Phase 1s?
Yeah, exactly. They'd sort of jury-rig one of those onto a traditional large format view camera. The big ones with the bellows.
Ah, I see. So they were kind of forcing it.
Pretty much. It worked, kind of, but you weren't getting the full benefit of the large format system because the sensor itself was still medium format size. It wasn't truly capturing that huge image circle the large format lenses produce.
So it was a compromise, like you said, a workaround.
Yeah,
A bit of a hack, maybe?
definitely a compromise. But then the LS911 comes along, and suddenly photographers could actually shoot large format digitally without film for the first time ever using a sensor that matched the format.
Right. So this wasn't just like a technical curiosity. It actually
Right.
opened up real possibilities for photographers, didn't it? Is that where things started getting really interesting for that community?
Absolutely. The LS911, it didn't just prove it was technically possible, which was huge in itself.
Yeah.
It showed that you could blend these two worlds, the analog tradition and the digital future. That bridge could actually be built.
Okay, so it proved the concept.
Right. And this kind of brings up a key point, maybe for you listening. When we talk about that massive 9 by 11 inch sensor, why does that specific size matter so much? I mean, compared to, say, a really high-end digital medium format system, what's the actual leap in quality beyond just saying it's bigger?
Yeah, that's crucial. What does that huge sensor actually get you as a photographer?
Well, fundamentally, a sensor that big just captures an incredible amount of information. Detail, obviously, but
Yeah.
also it delivers this really, really wide dynamic range. So it can handle incredibly bright highlights and really deep shadows in the same shot, holding detail in both.
Okay, so fewer blown out skies or blocked up shadows.
Exactly. And perhaps most importantly, it provides that depth to the image, that quality we talked about earlier, the almost three-dimensional feel where you feel like you could step into the scene.
Right, that signature large format look.
Precisely. So for photographers who are obsessed with meticulous control, with getting every last bit of nuance and fidelity, that combination of detail, dynamic range, and depth,
Yeah.
well, that's always been the ultimate goal.
Okay, so the LS911 showed it could be done, it could deliver that quality digitally. But what's the actual impact been? Because I'm guessing these cameras aren't exactly, flying off the shelves like iPhones. They sound incredibly specialized.
You're absolutely right. The LS911 is and likely always will be a very niche camera. Very few people actually own one.
Right.
But its existence, its creation, proved a really critical point. True digital large format could exist. It wasn't just a
Kind of
fantasy.
set a benchmark.
Exactly. It showed you could blend that old world magic, the quality you get from huge negatives with the convenience of digital, instant review, digital post-processing workflows, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really a testament to innovation driven by this very specific, almost artisanal demand for the absolute best quality.
It's fascinating, though, how something so niche can still make such a big statement. And yet, connecting this back to the wider world, It's also true that most pro photographers today, even the ones chasing top-tier quality, they still tend to use high-end, medium-format digital systems,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. That's where the market really is for ultra high quality digital.
Yeah.
You look at brands like Phase One.
Right, Phase One, they make this incredibly powerful digital backs, the full camera
Yeah.
systems,
Yeah.
known for just massive resolution, amazing image quality.
Unmatched, many would say. And Hasselblad, of course, a legendary name in medium format, still a huge favorite, especially in studios, fashion photography, known for, beautiful color science, incredible sharpness.
And even Leica, famous for their smaller cameras. They have their S system, their medium format offering, also pushing boundaries.
They do. And then you've also got companies like Fujifilm who've really made a huge splash with their GFX
Oh,
series.
yeah, that's a great point. Fuji's GFX line has kind of brought digital medium format to, well, maybe not the masses, but certainly a much wider audience.
Exactly. They've made that kind of sensor size and file quality much more accessible price-wise than it ever used to be. They've really democratized it to an extent.
Yeah, showing that incredible quality doesn't always have to cost as much as a small car. At least not anymore in medium format.
Right. Which kind of leads back to your earlier question.
So, yeah, where does this leave digital large format, like true 8 by 10 digital sensors, or even bigger? Was the LS911 just a sort of a glimpse of a very distant future, or will we see this become more widespread?
Honestly, probably not anytime soon. Not widespread, anyway.
Okay, why not?
Well, it comes down to really practical things. Manufacturing these absolutely huge sensors, like 9 by 11 or 8 by 10, it's incredibly difficult and incredibly expensive. The research, the development, the yields in manufacturing are likely very low.
Right, making perfect sensors that big must be a nightmare.
Exactly. And then there's demand. As you said, it's niche. The number of photographers who truly need that format and can justify the cost is very, very small.
So it stays a highly specialized tool for a select few.
Pretty much a true niche within a niche.
Still, though, the fact that the LS911 exists, that it was made, it's kind of inspiring, isn't it? It showed what's possible at the extreme end.
It really did.
And who knows, right? Technology moves fast. Things that seem impossible today, sometimes they become tomorrow's reality. I mean, look how quickly digital medium format evolved just in the last 10 years or so.
That's a very fair point. It went from being this ultra elite, almost unobtainable thing to something, well, still expensive, but much more widely used and available, thanks partly to companies like Fujifilm.
Yeah.
So even if these specific ultra-large format digital cameras like the LS911 remain very niche, the journey itself, the fact that pioneers like LargeSense pushed that boundary, it shows that relentless pursuit of the absolute best image quality, regardless of the challenges, that drive still fuels real, sometimes profound innovation.
So, thinking about this whole story, what does it tell us, maybe, about innovation itself? If today's impossible ideas can become reality later, what other seemingly impossible bridges, maybe between old analog tech and new digital tech, might we see coming? In photography, or maybe even in totally different fields?
It's a compelling thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of encourages you listening to this to think about how these really specialized niche projects, even if they don't become mainstream right away, sometimes they give us the very first glimpse of a much bigger future down the road. Makes you wonder, what other boundaries are being quietly pushed right now, just out of sight? What's the next impossible thing someone's working on?